Today I'm going to show you the easiest way to create a custom hand-drawn animation of anything you want. I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, and I've always loved that sketchy multimedia feel in music videos and visualizers. I think it's just unique and adds levels of texture that just look great. And the best part is, it's way easier than you think. There's just a few key tricks you need to know, and I'm going to show you here today. And real quick, if you don't want to go through the process of actually drawing and creating all these sketches yourself, I have created a sketchbox pack. It's over 150 animated sketches, frames, scribbles, letters, all that fun stuff I've compiled over the years. I'll link it in the description below. And there's also a free sample pack if you want to just try it out. In this video, I'm going to break down two specific animation styles. One is just like a sketched looping animation, stuff like this. This is where the object itself doesn't move, but we create multiple versions of it that just kind of flicker in a sketchy way. Basically anything that stays in place but has that sketchy, jittery flicker type animation. And then there's frame by frame motion animation. This is basically the same thing, but where the object moves and transforms through the drawings. So instead of just flickering, it has a specific animated action over time. These ones take a little more time, but add so much dynamic movement to your music videos and edits. All right, so I'm using a Huion drawing tablet. You don't need one. I just have been using it forever, and I think it's way easier. You can use a mouse or even your computer's trackpad. But we're gonna start off in Photoshop. I just got a black background so we can see what we're drawing. I'm gonna draw in white. So you want to make a new layer. You're going to draw all of these on individual layers. Pick your brush. I think we're just going to stick with this one. Make it a little smaller. And for the first type, the just looping sketched animation, let's draw an exclamation point. Something simple. I'm going to color that in here on one layer, and then we're going to make a new layer for the second iteration of it. And I like to lower the opacity of the first one just so I can see what the new drawing looks like. And the more variation you have between the drawings, the wonkier the effect, in that the more it will kind of ripple, wiggle, jitter, whatever the word is. So this one I drew pretty close to the same thing, so it's gonna flicker, but it won't be crazy. And you want at least 3 different layers of this same object. You can do more, but 3 is definitely the minimum. 2, it just looks like it's kind of flashing back and forth, but 3, it at least can cycle through. And then just turn the opacity back up. And we're gonna hide all those. I'm gonna draw the second style animation in the same project, and then we'll bring those into After Effects. I'm thinking we'll do a kind of lightning bolt or zap, so something like that, just to show you. But we're gonna start it off small and make it grow. So first layer, second layer, just gonna make it a little bigger all around. And color that in, and then we're gonna have it get bigger by 1 more degree here. Color that one in. And now at its peak size, I'm gonna draw 2 more variations of it, so that if you wanted to extend it while it's at this size, you can chop it up and do that. I'll show you that later. So we're just gonna draw this same thing 2 more times, basically the same way we did with the exclamation point. And now we're gonna make it just pop. So I'm gonna kind of extend the lines a bit here. And it will expand itself. Do 1 more as it just kind of like dissipates. Those now, just turn all your layers back on and name them. So we're gonna do exclamation 1, exclamation 2, exclamation 3. How the hell do you spell exclamation? I think that's right. Then turn on all the zap layers. We'll call it zap 1, zap 2, zap 3, zap 4, and so on. The order of these doesn't totally matter for the still ones, like the exclamation point, but for the ones that have a series of events, it does matter. And now we're gonna export these as transparent PNGs. Make sure you hide the background layer, and then go to File, Export Layers to Files. For the destination, just select wherever you want those to go. I'm going to choose the desktop for this one now. And you can have a prefix just so you can find them. So we'll do animation, and make sure it's a PNG when you check off transparency so that it's a fully transparent background. Hit run, and it's just going to cycle through and export these all individually. All right, so now we're going to open up After Effects, and in no time, you're going to have your own custom animated asset of whatever you can draw. It's pretty cool. All right, we're going to new project, and we're just going to import those files that we just exported from Photoshop. And then this part is super simple. This is the trick that often gets overlooked. But for the exclamation point, for example, we're going to select all of those, right click and do new comp from selection. You're going to want to make the still duration about 3 frames and make sure you check sequence layers. This is going to sequence them so that they appear animated over time. And immediately, if we hit play, you see we have a animated sketch exclamation point. And again, this whole thing is only 9 frames long, but you can, once we export it, you can always just duplicate that and make it as long as you want. So now if we do the zap, this is important for things with a series of events like the zaps. Select 1 first and then hold shift and select 7 to select them in order. Right click, new comp from selection, and we're just gonna do the same thing. So still duration 3 frames, sequence layers, hit OK, and now we have a growing and popping zap animation. And to export these, this is an unorganized window right now, but basically select both of these compositions and go to File, Export, Add to Render Queue. And then in the settings here, you're gonna click that. Make sure your format is on QuickTime, and then for video output channels, RGB plus alpha. This will make them completely transparent background. We're gonna render that. And then we'll do the zap. Export, render queue with the same settings. And now I'm gonna hop into Premiere Pro and show you how you can use those a little bit. All right, so we are in Premiere Pro now. I brought in a music video just as an example. It's at 4K, and we brought in the assets we just made. So for the exclamation point, let's find just a example place to put it. Drag it onto the timeline. It's that easy. Just drag and drop, and you can see it comes in. And we're gonna scale it down a little bit and pop it over. Say there was a title here. Again, this is just an example of how it could be used, but exclamation point. And then where you have, once you have it how you like it, you can just copy and paste. We're gonna extend that a bunch, run through, so it's there animating. And you can highlight these, right click, nest, exclamation point. And one thing I like to do, just as an example here, is animate how it comes in, the scaling of it. So make sure the anchor point is on in the middle of the exclamation point, and then we're gonna add a keyframe at the beginning with scale 0. Go forward like 3 frames, make 110, so it got a little bigger, and then one more 100. That way it animates, it kind of pops in like that. And you can do the same thing for animating out. And then for something like the little zap that we made, let's drag that onto here. So as you can see, it's pretty quick right now. But if we wanted to extend the time at which it was at its peak there, we can just go find where it gets the biggest. So that would be there. Cut it there, 1, 2, 3, and find where it stops. Drag out the end there, and then copy and paste that middle piece. And now we can extend the length of this animation, and it will kind of have that same effect and pop. And again, you can nest this. There's tons of effects you can do to customize all of these and work them into your video in the style that you want. I'll make a separate video on that. I just wanted to show how you can create these from scratch. So if you can think of something and draw it, you can make it a sketch animation. It's pretty cool. But again, if you want to save time and not draw all these, I do have a full Sketchbox pack with stuff that I've compiled over the years, and there's a free sample pack that you can check out. The link will be in the description. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate your time. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. drop them down below and I will respond.